Welcome gentlemen, it's your boy Professional Mage, and today I have to share with you these few new things that I learned about Valheim's next update, the Deep North. Recently I published this new video which is basically... Shut up. Recently I published this new video which was basically me reading some of your opinions and things that you would like in the next update, and also adding some of my own, and we got tons and tons of replies in that video, and most of those comments were actually pretty good ideas, awesome ideas. But if even 10% of that stuff that you guys recommended in my comment section will be implemented, it would be one of the best updates that Valheim ever sees. But reality is a bit more disappointing than that. So I have this comment here which really, I read it a while ago, like 2 weeks ago according to this. I read it as soon as it was written. But I have this comment here, and it's a game developer. I don't think it's a developer of Valheim, but he is a developer, so he knows a bit about stuff that he's talking about. At least I hope so, I guess. I don't know. He could be just a guy who thinks that he is good at this. We don't know. But I'll take him at his word. He had a Valheim hyperfixation. It's not just fixation, it's hyperfixation. And he believes that he can set a realistic expectations for this new update. And then he said, first let's speculate how to get there. And then I was like, okay, a nice and brief comment. Then I pressed this, boom, a whole text wall. But that's fine. I asked for your opinions, I got your opinions. Let's start. So his first portion of the comment basically is that the drop of the father shares the model with the drop of the queen. And the queen is the final boss of Mistlands, which is an update before Ashlands. So you defeat the queen, you get that little scale, I think it's some sort of a scale, I remember that. And then you use that to craft the boat, as he said in this comment. And you travel with that boat to Ashlands, and the boat can withstand the boiling water and stuff like that. It's a huge boat, you know it. If you've been to Ashlands, it's a huge boat. So judging by this, and I also did think about it even before I saw this comment, I remember actually talking about it with my friend, that approaching the new biome, I think we're gonna have some sort of like icebreaker ship that will be implemented here, because we are better to implement it than in this update. Why? Well, because exactly you need it to reach the biome. So in this next portion of the comment, he says that the new biome, that they already done some experimentation with the ice. If you go to the place where the Deep North is supposed to be located, I don't suggest going there in your main world, but if you go there, you're gonna see, according to this guy, I haven't gone there and seen it for myself, but he says that there is already ice around it, and they experimented a little bit with that. So it's fair to say that we are gonna approach this new biome with this boat. That's basically maybe an icebreaker or maybe not, but we're just gonna have to reach it like that. Also, he speculates here that ice is not gonna be able to withstand a player on it, but it's gonna require ship to break it. So that really doesn't make much sense, because if you're going by real life, you can stand on that ice that the ship is breaking. It can't break underneath a human. So the whole point of the ship is that it's strong enough to break that ice. But it could be like this weird game balancing thing, so you can't go there on foot, and only with the ship. So that's something that we can assume that is gonna be there, and it's most likely gonna be the ship. I hate it that it's gonna be the ship. I mean, I'm sick of fucking ships, but it is what it is. I can't change much. So that's his assumption based on his research on how the ashlands, the Deep North, is gonna be reached, and it's with a ship that breaks ice. So his next guess about this new update is about the animals, which is not really important, but or mobs, and he's just like the rest of us. He would like some sort of a rideable deer or a wolf. That would be great, but his mind is telling him that we're gonna get bears instead, which is cool, bro. I would much more like to ride a bear than ride a deer or ride a fucking wolf. Give me a bear. We would like that, and I really do think as well that we're gonna get polar bears on that new update, because those animals would be perfect for that update. So now in this last portion of this comment, he's complaining about Jotunbane, which is basically a next that has poison damage, and a lot of mobs in ashlands are not weak to poison damage. I'm not sure myself if there are any at all enemies in ashlands that are weak to poison damage. Sure, they might take poison damage, but they're not weak to it. Maybe they are, I can't remember on top of my head, I don't wanna google it. But that axe might be useful in the next update, because there is one faction that's already found in a cold place in mountains of Valheim, and it's those cultists and Fenrir. So those guys, they are weak to poison. And he says here, I didn't really go into Fenrir lore, but he says here that they are one of the most interesting factions in the game, and we sort of know a little about them. That's his reason why they might reuse these factions, and he assumes here that developers intend to make the last boss of this new update to be Fenrirs, something tied to them. And honestly, it's realistic. makes sense. We already have something like that in the game, and I wouldn't mind this. I'm setting my expectations to be realistic. As much as I would like 10 or 20% of my comment section to be implemented in the new update, I can't expect that. The rest of the comment is not important. He's referring to some stuff that he saw in the video. So that's that in terms of this developer's opinion about the new update. So there are two more things that I wanted to talk about this new update. By the way, if you're still watching, consider subscribing to this channel and liking the video. It really does help a lot. You can continue watching. So when I was editing this old video about Valheim's next update, I stumbled upon an article. I can't find it anymore. I don't know what I searched, but I remember stumbling upon it. If somebody can find it, that's great. But I remember somebody talking about that the Deep North update isn't gonna be the next harder and super hard biome after Ashlands. And they're saying that the Deep North is gonna be a complementary biome to Ashlands. What it means is basically it's gonna be a palette swapped Ashlands. That is basically what they wanted to say with that. It's not gonna be more difficult than Ashlands. It might be a little bit more difficult, but it shouldn't be super more difficult than Ashlands. It's gonna be like a complementary biome. So I'm not sure about the source of that. Did developers say something like that, or did they hint on something like that? Although it does make sense when you're looking at it, because all these updates that we have right now that we got before Ashlands didn't really innovate that much. They didn't really do like something, wow, oh my god, this is a totally new thing for Valheim, and it's just elevated the game so much. It did improve the game a bit, but you never got that big bang update that everybody wanted. So maybe magic did elevate it much, but that's the only big bang thing, sort of. That's just a new combat style, I guess. But we didn't get that huge expansion like that you could play for hours on one update. So my guess that the article that I read is gonna be correct, and we're gonna get a complementary biome to Ashlands that is just a bit more harder, but not extremely hard, and it's just a new nice update to tie things up. So there's also something that people have been talking about in my comment section. They really wanted to have this ocean expansion, more things to do on ocean, like Viking raids and some maybe fortresses, or Viking raids on some islands, sea creatures, new civilizations on the sea or under seas, something like that. New monsters, whales, orcas, something like that. They wanted more in terms of Valheim oceans, because all you do right now in the ocean, you can find that Leviathan. Is it called like that? I'm not sure. The thing that floats in the water and you can collect stuff off of its back. That basically. There's only that right now. And fishing maybe. That's all you can do on oceans. Now I did read somewhere in the comment section that there was this old roadmap for Valheim, and that they did plan on ocean expansion update, but somebody said that that's not happening because they want to make the Deep North and then I guess wrap up the game. The reality is often disappointing, as Thanos said, but I think that the Deep North could be the last update, major update that we get. And I kind of understand developers, they want to wrap the game up, release it from early access, and I understand that. I really do. And they don't really make tons of money on this game because it's one and done. You buy it, you have it, there's no microtransactions, nothing, you just have the game. Constantly updating the game like that, I don't think it's gonna pay off that much, you know. I think in terms of these free updates, like you buy the game and you get the update for free, the Deep North is gonna be the last one. Now, in terms of paid ones, if they decide to do that, people sometimes can be against these paid updates. Oh my god, it's selling us pieces of content, they are junk. Valheim so far delivered awesome updates to us, and I wouldn't be against them releasing a new form of update, new form of world that you can go and explore beyond just the normal one, because you're in your Valheim world, you're just basically on this flat surface. There is already like this Valheim map reader, you can put your seed in there and just see your map. And if you see that, there is no more land to be, you know, edited. There is only the Deep North left. After they add that, that world is done. There is nothing more to add. Anything more, if they add anything more, could break the existing worlds, which is annoying. Nobody wants to go a new world to explore the newly added biome. That's just stupid. So what they might do, and if I was on that team, I would do that. Make some sort of a portal, some sort of a mob to fight so you can access this new world and explore that. And that's basically how you progress. Or they could go even in verticality. They could make us access the world tree that's above us the whole time. The Yggdrasil tree. Is it called like that? They could make us access that. That's just my opinion. I would like to see more of this game. I don't want the game to die, which I think it might happen after the Deep North releases. Some new players might come occasionally, but I don't think it's gonna be that many. But yeah, gentlemen, that's all that I wanted to talk about. That's all that I learned. We can all talk until tomorrow, but in the end, none of this matters. What developers make is what developers make, and I just hope it's good. Gentlemen, that's it for this video. If you liked it, like it. I'll see you in the next one. Mage out.